So, Gridmaster was peak, but what the fuck am I talking about? For those who are unaware, Old School RuneScape just concluded their most recent installment of a limited time game mode, Leagues. RuneScape's limited time game mode is kind of like Earth in League of Legends. Or 2 times XP in Windcraft.
Lowered one of your defensive stats rather than one of your offensive ones because it was using both those offensive stats. There was a real case that...
Or when you boot up Warframe to a 50% off Platinum voucher that you will definitely use and share with your day ones that got you into the game. Yeah, right. Unlike that Platinum voucher you will never touch or share with your friends, Leagues is a classic spin on the normal gameplay of Old School RuneScape. XP multipliers, buffs to drops, and new and classic and unique rewards. So, why is Gridmaster, a game mode that kinda came out of nowhere, better than every league that Jagex has done up to this point? First, you need to know what Leagues is. Leagues, in Old School RuneScape, has been a simple but fun game mode. You start from scratch as an Iron Man, which is a no trading or help from other accounts. Then you do random tasks from skilling to PVM to waiting in a fucking line to hit a demon atop a tower day 1. Real ones know. Doing these tasks gives you points, and at a certain amount of points you get wildly overpowered buffs to your character. Anything from farming better to fully processing items instantly. Gridmaster strays from the classic League system, keeping all the basic stuff like Iron Man mode, XP multipliers, and buff drop rates. But instead of the point-based system the player base has grown to love through Stockholm Syndrome and Cope, they completely changed it into an objectively better game mode via a board. Meaning one task on the board results in a reward. As you complete the board, you may even clear a line, which will also result in another reward. Simply, it's bingo for RuneScape. Now, why is it good? Finally, the meat of this video. Let's... Wait, what's this? Fuck, hold on. No Monkey just posted. I have to go watch this and get my actual opinion on this topic before I tell you my opinion, quote unquote, on this. One sec. Jokes aside, why is it actually good? Fucking no region locks. The player base has been asking for this for every single league since its inception. Something I obviously didn't tell you before is in Leagues you have 2 regions auto unlocked and then 3 additional choices. So, in previous leagues, you've had to really think about what and where you want to go in the league so you can do the content you actually want to do. As an example, if you're playing a ranger in Leagues 4 and wanted the best gear for your style, you had to pick Desert for your Missouri, your best in slot armor, Korend for your prayer and big ticket item the Twisted Bow. This leaves you with 1 more region to pick out of 9 total regions, which is most likely going to be Esgarnia to top out your armor with fan braces and your best range spec in the Zerite crossbow. This leaves very little room for if you're wanting to have the best gear for your style, so now you have one style that is the best it can possibly be with the 3 regions you have picked. Well, what about your other styles? Expect them to look like an average We Do Reads chatter pulling up to your raid, which if you don't know, is complete hogwash garbage. Matching up with friends, if you have any, also stirs this pot and makes it more complicated. But with Gridmaster, oh baby, no region locks means you get access to all content in the game. The region cuck cage has finally been unlocked. This allows players to do whatever they want. This allows them to fully flesh out their gear, so they're not only getting one good style, and the rest are completely forgotten about. This allows them to do absolutely nonsensical grinds for gear they don't even need, like for Sani's Nightmare. And without having to take a region that does not benefit their main style at fucking all. This event is unbelievably fast. So fast that power scalers probably think this is in the speed tier that insta-wins fights for them. There are literal speed runs for completing the entire grid for Gridmaster. Now, why is completing the event really quickly good? New players and old players can both benefit from this. old players get to blaze through this with knowledge of the game to get to the content they actually want to do, which is 6 hours of Barb Lore and 3-4 Granite on repeat. Now newer players also benefit from this because they get to try the actual peak parts of the game, like raids, and browsing the very niche art on Twitter. In my opinion, Normal Leagues has what I call task bloat, where some tasks are there to just help fill up on more points, and your stomach gets so round and bulbous that you look very pregnant because of how full on points that you are. Now if that joke didn't hit for you, that either means you're half of RuneScape's demographic that is chronic weed smokers, or you're the other half that is furries and role players, and you just didn't find that very funny. So you're probably a weed smoker, but task bloat are the meaningless tasks that will never be touched again besides when you're in leagues. Examples of this are chopping a single tree in a particular field, killing a single demon atop a fucking tower, day 1. That's what we call a callback in humor if you didn't get it. Having an NPC make a rope with wool, having an NPC get angry at you with dialogue. These tasks are pointless except to get more points in your particular regions of the game. Now Gridmaster's grid, for new players you can usually fill out the early lines pretty easily. I had a friend, poor soul, that I convinced to play the game, and he got most of the easy stuff done within a few days of being completely new to the game. The rewards from each tile felt for the most part really fucking good. The variety they put into the grid was quite nice, from XP multipliers to major quest completions to actually PVMing or skilling items. But the main ones I want to highlight are the combat masteries, craftsman, gatherer, bottomless brew, and the shark. These 5 things, in my opinion, are the best and most impactful rewards they gave to the players. Now what are the combat masteries? On the board, you complete lines and tasks to get 1 level of combat masteries. Now in the previous league, you got them for doing slow progression through PVM, and only got to put these masteries onto 1 combat style to max level, and a secondary one to about halfway. The reason I'm highlighting this is because in Gridmaster, each combat mastery you get goes to all styles, not just one. This allows the player to use literally any weapon and still feel strong and not be forced into one style the entire playthrough like in previous leagues. The Craftsman and the Gatherer allowed you to pick 3 skills that all shared experience. This sped up progression for the new and old players a metric shit ton. RuneScape has a lot of slow skills, and having an option, if you're aware of them, to train those passively as you train other, way faster skills helped a lot. Fuck Slayer, fuck runecrafting, and I'm sorry if you didn't pick those for your playthrough, better luck next time. Next was Bottomless Shark and Brew. Fuck, these rewards are so good. 4 skills are completely gone as soon as you get them. Never-ending food, and the shark gets rid of cooking and fishing entirely. Why the fuck would you go fish and cook it when you can just keep eating the same fucking shark on repeat? I've been glazing this league for probably too long, and now it's time to get into some of the real talk about improving it and making it better. Firstly, line rewards are so genuinely fucking dog shit. Dog Sword being a line reward, but not only that, one of the harder line rewards to complete is a fucking crime. It's such a bad weapon, and the only people using it are the non-weed smoker half of the player base who find it funny when you say woof when you spec. Khopesh should be a line reward. Khopesh is hands down the strongest spec you get access to. Gloves of the Dam being another shit-ass line reward. These are not good. They are a mid-game armor piece with a buff that boosts Barrow's armor effect. But Barrow's armor is irrelevant as soon as you can do Perilous Moons, because Barrow's armor is just not very good. You need to get these earlier in the grid to ever use them. And they are locked behind awakened bosses, which I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but these are 4 of the hardest bosses in the entire game, which if Khopesh and gloves were swapped, I think it would be perfect. Now, Mega Rare vouchers. Now this is an opinion I think no one should agree with, and this is just what I thought while playing Gridmaster. But getting a Mega Rare voucher, some of the strongest items that you can easily get your hands on, really suck the fun out of endgame content. Because most people would just do one Tombs of a Masket, get a random common, and then they would get their Mega Rare voucher. This would allow them to pick one of the 3 Mega Rares, which doesn't feel justified in my opinion. Now, I made a second account that didn't use any of the vouchers from the grid, and I seemed to enjoy it a lot more actually, and sent more raids than I did on my main account. And once again, this is something I don't think we should agree with. This is just my personal take and preference to the grid. So quick one-offs that don't really need that much explaining. Vorkath Head not being boosted made that tile some ass. Yama Uniques being so common we couldn't get commons from Yama made that some ass. Not being able to reset your account, mainly for the speedrunners, probably made that some ass. Now my final point is the use of old assets. This allowed Jagex to skip a lot of development for this league, quote unquote, but it definitely shows. Some of the rewards are completely pointless, Banker's Note being a real outlier. Under normal conditions, Banker's Note is incredibly strong. Being able to unnote any item in the previous league broke a lot of encounters, as you would have infinite food and potions, because you would just stockpile them and note them in your inventory. Oh yeah, we already have that in the grid. Yeah, Shark and Bottomless Brew kind of ruined Banker's Note. And yes, there are other uses for Banker's Note. In my initial playthrough, I used it for 99 construction. If I didn't have it, I probably would not have done it. But one of the main uses in the previous league for Banker's Note was just having food and potions on hand, so you would never have to resupply or stop doing an encounter because you ran out of supplies, because you had effectively infinite. Jagex overall did a fantastic job with this league, and with how little time that they actually put into this, it came out of nowhere. In all honesty, it literally was not on my radar until the day of. I really hope they do keep this incredibly fast and replayable format for the future, as I do not want to fucking region pick the ocean because sailing is releasing in a couple of days.